Right, obviously, I'm be akwaba fambre 2K ni some blows on YouTube so say obviously for yaba as usual and some ahodo a course on Ghana say no and the best me ahefo any atifo nya na biso me no say no say info bia ba betodwa ni nyina afa che say Afenyo Markin ho obviously say me no say na Afenyo Markin come here say beginning of the 9th parliament no once na prepare ya che say why na so on tremendous for na ade ba kwa emu Afenyo sisi ene say ne nkofo mdi na chi nyina come here say omani nya den te say Afenyo Markin no nti eni edi o de start ye no won say aboa no ne ntakra na kire na ede ne kese so ha se mabu bani ya won say obe kese ejina na so betima ko eni mai bibia ejina mo maka a mo ben won ho but Afenyo Markin nya sa support nti eni edi o de start ye no they say na this for no so ye buagu ne so ama they say na eni abrepe ya ene wo parliament wa brache say omo yi nsema no kan nsema hodo no ana je say Afenyo so chim say de say no e kam yakọ ye painful yen fe na nsi from na hwenwoma bia because as ye ba obobom painful bi din so omo as omo manani omo ye titia ne mfa ho de so ni nani je so wo parliament on na abusua ensem nyina enhyirem wa hasen me person me kasa wete ntebeko yakọ akọ nyina de abeba ba betina se ne di ho enkomo se de sitie mesa so nya subscribe from my YouTube channel ya na subscribe na bibia so etimi aye kama me din ede kwam gentle.
Speaker, I am on my feet at this dispatch box to ask the Minister for Finance the measures taken to close the USAID financing gap of 156 million following a directive from the President, which was communicated through a press release by the Minister responsible for government communication. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. Right Honourable Speaker, given the reality of the funding gap of $156 million, the government would take the following measures to close the funding gap. Mr. Speaker, as part of the resources that will be made available as a result of the uncapping of the National Health Insurance levy, part of it will be used to close the gap created following the suspension of the USAID funding. Additionally, an amount of 100 million Ghana cedis is being allocated in the goods and services budget of the Ministry of Health under the expenditure line Global Fund. This will be used to procure vaccines that hitherto were being funded by the USAID. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any supplementary?
Rightly so, Mr. Speaker. May I know from the Honourable Minister how much is to be expected from the uncapping of the NHIS fund? Because, Mr. Speaker, the Minister is talking about decapping of the fund. Now, he should be able to tell us how much, as a result of the decapping, would be available.
Yes, Honourable Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, this requires some coordination with the revenue authorities to get the figures. So he should ask the substantive question on the matter. But the Minister has it, so...
Mr. Speaker, this must stop. The Majority Leader has been using this to intimidate the backbench. He is a leader of this House. He shouldn't be doing this. And when it gets to the Minority Leader, he now takes the stage to be intimidating and directing. We don't know him as a bully. We don't know him as a bully. That's not his training. He should allow the Minister to answer the question.
Well, honourable members, I believe the Minister is capable of answering the question. So, Honourable Minister. just provide.
Mr. Speaker, the National Health Insurance Authority will be receiving in total an amount of 9.9 billion. The National Health Insurance Authority will be receiving in total an amount of 9.9 billion Ghana cedis for the year 2025. Mr. Speaker, this is because of the uncapping. The uncapping of the National Health Insurance levy has made available additional resources worth 4.2 billion Ghana cedis to the National Health Insurance Authority. Mr. Speaker, this is indeed enough for the National Health Insurance Authority to be able to include in their priorities the funding gap as created by the USAID resources. Thank you.
Honourable members, I'm not supposed to take part, but we can all refer to page 137 and 138 of the budget. Honourable, a further supplementary.
This government committed, promised 1.5 billion for the agro sector and made provision for 924 million in the estimate. So don't let us go there. Mr. Speaker, don't let us go there. Don't lead yourself into temptation. The same thing with their big push. They should give proper assurances. They say one thing and do another. It's only talk government. They say women banking, only gave 51 million. Women
Honourable
banking.
Minority Leader, your supplementary question.
Yes, Mr.
Please.
Speaker. They don't keep their promises. Mr. Speaker, I want to know from the Minister of Finance.
Honourable Majority Leader. Honourable Minority, I recognize Honourable Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, the minority leader should learn to behave properly in this chamber. He should learn to behave properly in this chamber. Please, let's treat each other with respect. Please, you cannot stand here and just point accusing finger and say they don't keep their promises. This is a government that so far has kept every promise that it has made to Ghanaians. Every promise that we have made to Ghanaians, we have kept. Every promise we have kept. We said we will appoint not more than 60 ministers. We have done so. We said we will do that. We said we are going to abolish taxes. We have abolished the taxes. Every single thing that we've said we will do, we are doing. Go out there and conduct a survey. Every Ghanaian you ask say that they have confidence in John Dramani Mahama and the government, and that they are happy because they have seen that this is a government that keeps its promises. So you cannot stand here and just throw your fingers and then point at us and say we don't keep our promises. The budget has just been brought. We have not yet even considered it. We have not yet even approved it for us to implement our promises. You cannot always stand up and talk as if you are more than anybody in this chamber. Make this your last time. Make this your last time.
Honourable members, the issue of keeping promise or not cannot be a supplementary question to question numbered C. So, Honourable Minority Leader asks a supplementary question.
Mr. Speaker, the leader of government business, who I so much respect, was on his feet to mislead the House. He was not up on a point of order against a question which was yet to be asked. But he talked about proper behavior. But his
Honourable
approach,
Minority
Mr. Speaker,
Leader.
I need to finish. Mr. Speaker, I need to finish.
Honourable Minority
Mr.
Leader.
Speaker, I need to finish.
Once again,
Mr. Speaker, I
will
need to
you
finish.
ask a supplementary question? Honorable Minority Leader, once again, will you ask a supplementary question?
Mr. Speaker, I am asking my supplementary question. However, I need your leave to respond to certain matters that have gone into the record of this House, which matters were raised by the majority leader. And it is my right, far right, to respond to these because he introduced them. Mr. Speaker, if the majority leader talks about improper behavior, I dare say that his is worse. Because he's saying that his government has kept all promises. Even appointing ministers, you gave a promise last week. The 4 that are remaining, you are refusing to. You can't. Which promise have you kept? Which promise have you kept? You said 30% of women. Have you complied with the affirmative action law? You come here and then you say you kept your promise. Which promise have you kept? Then you say improper behavior. Yours is worse. Women in banking, only 51 million. Agriculture, the farmers, the poor farmers in the north, the poor farmers in the south. What promises didn't you give? Today, you only allocate a paltry sum for the agro sector. The 924 million, a chunk of it goes into compensation. What is the Minister of Agri going to do? A redundant minister? What about your big push? Nothing. And you say you kept your promises. You've not kept your promises. You've not kept your promises. This government is even becoming a lame duck. This government is even becoming a lame duck. If elections are held today, you lose.
Honourable members.
If elections are held today, you become the minority. If elections are held today, you will be the minority. Your majority will go down to less than 100. If you like, declare election. Let the president declare election, and we'll see. If you trust Mr. Speaker, I'm going to ask my question.
Minority Leader.
Can the Minister of Finance assure this House that true to his commitment in his own budget, he's going to comply with this funding gap? We want assurances because health matters. We are not supposed to joke with them. Is he going to assure this House that he's going to comply and there would be no story?
Honourable members, before giving the floor to the Minister to answer the question, I think we owe it as a duty to set the record straight. Honourable members, I was part of the people who shepherded the affirmative action bill into law. Honourable members, if you look at the first schedule of the Affirmative Action Act, the 30% is a range, and the target was up to 2026. The law is very clear. Honourable members, the law is very clear. You can make reference to Schedule 1 of the law. Honourable members, so the information is there very clear in Schedule 1 of the law, based on Section 69. Honourable Finance Minister, you have the floor. You have the floor. Yes, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to use this opportunity to, one, assure the House that unlike the previous government that capped the national health insurance levy. We will not cap the National Health Insurance levy. And as such, the National Health Insurance Authority will have enough resources to intervene and be able to resolve all the challenges that has arisen as a result of the amount that is not coming from USAID. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, that will be all for him.
Thank you very much. We move to question numbered D, standing in the name of Honorable Mavis Nkansa Bwedu, MP for Efija Sechere East.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister of Finance what measures the ministry is taking to address the recent significant depreciation of the cedi. Thank you. You can read it. Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, let's listen to the question in silence. Honorable members, I intend to ask her to repeat the question, but let's have the courtesy to listen to the question in silence.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Finance what measures the ministry is taking to address the recent significant depreciation of the cedi. Thank you.
Order.
Mr. Speaker, as at March 14, 2025, Right Honorable Speaker, as of March 14, 2025, the Ghana cedi exchange rate, Ghana cedi and dollar exchange rate was 15 cedis, 53 pesos to a dollar.